Does wild growth hair oil really work? In this video, I'm going to show you the ingredients in wild growth hair oil and also the research on what I believe is some of their more interesting ingredients. Let's take a look at that now. Now, if you look at the back of the bottle of wild growth hair oil, you'll see that the address is a P.O. box located in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I bring that up because on their website, wildgrowth.com, they mention that there are other websites out there that may be marketing their product or counterfeit products and making claims that the company does not support. Now, all that aside, if we take a look at the ingredients in wild growth hair oil, you can see that there's a lot of them listed, ranging from coconut oil and a bunch of other things. But the ingredients that stand out to me most are pumpkin seed oil, lavender oil, and peppermint oil. And that's because those three particular ingredients have been the subject of some clinical trials to see if they really do grow hair. So let's take a look at that research now and begin with peppermint oil. So there's this paper with a bold title that tells us that peppermint oil promotes hair growth without toxic side effects. That's good. In this study, topical peppermint oil was compared to either jojoba oil or 3% minoxidil solution in mice for 3 months. Results of this study revealed that peppermint oil was actually more effective at growing hair than 3% minoxidil. And as proof of peppermint oil's effectiveness, they do show us this picture where I've highlighted the peppermint oil group in yellow and the minoxidil group in green. And looking at this picture, it sure does look like peppermint oil is more effective than minoxidil. But let's be real here. This is a mouse study and we ain't mice. There's also this paper which came out 10 years later where they combined peppermint oil with mastic gum, which is a resin of a tree that grows in Greece. So it sounds great, but I'm going to discount the study because it's a mouse study. Next up is lavender oil, where we have this paper showing that lavender oil grows hair in mice. But again, big deal, we're not mice. But there's also this very intriguing randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial that came out in 1998. For 7 months, 88 people dealing with hair loss are treated with a topical solution that contained lavender oil, rosemary oil, and cedarwood oil. And if the results of this study are to be believed, they are nothing short of extraordinary. Here's a before and after picture of one of the guys in this study. It's the only picture they reveal in this paper where, as you can see, he went from being bald to pretty much having a full head of hair. Impressive, but there are problems. Number one, they didn't just use lavender oil, but rather combined it with other ingredients which are not found in wild growth hair serum. And if you ask me, the biggest problem of all is, despite the amazing results, this paper appears to have never been replicated. Why? And then we come to what I believe is the most intriguing ingredient in wild growth hair serum, and that's pumpkin seed oil. In this study, which is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial, men with male pattern baldness are given 400 milligrams of pumpkin seed oil daily for 6 months. Results: men taking pumpkin seed oil supplements saw a 40% increase in the number of hairs that were counted on their head. Conversely, those taking a placebo only saw a 10% improvement in hair growth. And as further proof, they also show us these very impressive before and after pictures. Pause the video and take a closer look. But from what I can see of these pictures, it does appear that pumpkin seed oil is having an effect on hair growth. However, let's remember that this occurred with pumpkin seed oil supplements. What about what happens when people put pumpkin seed oil topically on their scalp? Fortunately, we also have this paper which came out in 2021 where the effectiveness of topical pumpkin seed oil was compared to 5% minoxidil. 60 women who are dealing with hair loss are instructed to apply 1 milliliter of topical pumpkin seed oil or minoxidil to their scalps 1 time a day for 3 months. So what happened? Well, they do show us this before and after picture of a 26-year-old woman, which, if you ask me, does look dramatically different. On the left is the before picture, and on the right is what happened 3 months later. You tell me, do you see a difference? I think I do. Now, to compare and contrast, they also show us these before and after pictures of a 23-year-old woman who used minoxidil. And if you ask me, the minoxidil group does look better, but you'd be the judge. Here are both of those pictures side by side. Again, pause the video and scrutinize these pictures better if you like. So while topical pumpkin seed oil and pumpkin seed oil supplements appear to be having some effect on hair growth, can we say the same thing about wild growth hair oil? Not necessarily, and here's why. Number one, we don't know how much pumpkin seed oil is in wild growth hair oil, although from the ingredients you can see that it's listed somewhat towards the top of the ingredients list. That tells us that it probably has a good amount of pumpkin seed oil in it. However, the other issue is I'm unable to locate any clinical trials involving wild growth hair oil to see if it actually grows hair. And here's something else, and this may be the biggest thing to pay attention to. At the top of the wildgrowth.com website, the company states that wild growth products are intended to only affect the appearance of hair, and that is the only purpose promoted by the company. In other words, despite the wild growth name, the company isn't saying that wild growth hair oil will grow hair, only rather that it'll make the hair look better. And that statement is actually followed by a bunch of other words that I can only guess was written by an attorney. All that said, I don't see any problems using wild growth hair oil, and if it really does work, and by work I mean grow hair, my feeling is that it's probably due to the pumpkin seed oil, but you tell me what you think.